Good morning, guys. This is a walkthrough of SmartFaktura, and let's get started. To create your account, you'll basically enter all these different details which are required for your sign up. Once you do create an account, you will be redirected into the platform. Here you can get started with this checklist by starting out with entering all your business details and whatever your currency of choice is and what your address is. Once you have your organization number, you can add that here as well, and your TIN number. This could be whatever your organization is supporting. Basically here you can add your phone number as well, and once you do, you should be good to go. Your company billing email, or it could be any email which you have for your company. So I can just add this here, and this is the email which would basically be showing up on the invoices as well. This is where you'll be adding your bank account, and this is going to be your get prefix. Once you're done, save these settings and you should be good to go to the next step. Now you can go ahead and create your first invoice directly from here, but you do need to attach a customer on the page. So before you build out your invoice, let's go ahead and add a customer, right? So let's say I want to custom bill John, and his email is john@customer.com. His address is just address for John, and the country is USA. I'll go ahead and create the customer, and I can click new invoice right here, or I can go back to the invoices and create the invoice from there, or I can click this. Now if I come here and I select John, I can go ahead and add all the details I need for John, right? I can say basically like I sold him XYZ clothes, and the quantity was I sold him 3 shirts, right? The unit was pieces, there was no VAT, and each shirt was $5, right? So the total would come out to $15. If I want to add more things to the invoice, for example a total VAT rate, I can do that, right? And that would be automatically applied. For this use case, I'll leave it as is. I can configure the invoice date, and I can also configure the due date. We also support per invoice currencies, right? So if you want to change the invoice to any other currency, you can go ahead and do that. And once we do come to the catalog, you will be able to add your catalog items as well. To do that, basically, right, with the shirts I also sold him pants, right? Pants also come in pieces. The unit price for the pants were $6. The currency was USD, and I'll go ahead and create that product. I can also go back to the invoice now and come here and basically attach that product here as well, right? I can add another item right here called shirts. The quantity is going to be 3, the unit price is going to be 5, and the unit is going to be pieces. Same thing here, 1 pant for $6, and I can go ahead and create the invoice. Once I have created the invoice, I do need to select and add the customer, right? So I can go ahead and do that by adding the customer and saving the invoice again, right? And that basically lets us edit those invoices. Before you send out the invoice, you can go ahead and duplicate it as well. You can edit the invoice, and you can delete the drafted invoice, and you can also download the PDF for that invoice. And this is basically what would be going out to the individual users, right? So if I open this up, I can see these are my company details, these are the customer details, we have the logo right here, and every other thing would basically be shown here as well. So if I just reopen it, and invoice date is there, due date is there, invoice numbers, payment terms, KID, everything is there, right? I can go ahead and close this, and I can click send to send the invoice to the customer. I'll go ahead and resume this for now, minimize this for now, and if I want to know the customer details just to verify, I can click that and I can see all the details about the customer I have in the system. But yeah, let's go ahead and send the invoice. Once the invoice has been sent, you can manually mark it as paid, or you can click this copy link and send this link out to individual users as well. So what happens with this link is, if you go ahead and paste the link, you are going to you're going to see this page where, as a customer, as John, you can go ahead and look at the whole invoice, and you can attach receipts to that invoice, right? And say I want to attach a receipt here. Let's take a example image like this. I attach the invoice and that receipt would be attached here, right? And you, as the owner of the app, can basically come back to this page and see that the receipt has been attached. You can review the receipt and you can download the receipt, or you can confirm the payment or reject the payment, right? So normally this would basically be an actual receipt. Since we don't have one at hand, I'll just use that logo, right? So if I confirm the payment, what would happen is basically that same link would now say that payment received, right? And all the details are right there. But also this invoice has been marked as paid. So if I go back to the main page of invoice, I can see that the invoice has been marked as paid. Every single activity which was made is being logged, so you can go ahead and see that. Under the branding section, you can add your branding as well, like your organization logo. So if I go ahead and do that, and save my logo, every invoice I make in the future would basically have this logo instead of the one instead of the default one. We also have three plans available in SmartFaktura. That's free, starter, and business, with 14-day trials with both of the paid plans. And basically, you can have your logo on PDFs with the SmartFaktura watermark, but you also get 50 invoices with the starter plan. Uh, and with the business plan, you get basically unlimited invoices. And if I go back to the dashboard, this is where you'll be able to see the invoices, and if there's a particular invoice awaiting payment, or if it has been overdue, and the total revenue which has been collected from the invoices. Once you're done, basically all the checklist has been completed, and you can go ahead and hide the checklist. And for tracking your day-to-day invoices, you can go ahead and track them right there. If you want to log out of SmartFaktura, you can go ahead and log out here. If you want to check out the settings, you can click that as well. And we also have light and dark mode, so you can shift between the modes as you see fit. I personally like dark mode, so I just keep it that way. Thanks for watching. See ya.